Hello students, my name is Raza and today we'll be learning how to work with the QuickBooks customers or you can say how we can work with the transaction of customers. The first thing that we'll be learning is how to create the estimates or how to create the estimates for the customers, how to create the invoices in multiple ways, how to receive payment once we are receiving the payments against receivables, how to create sale receipt when we are doing the transaction of like receiving the payment at the same time, and making check void if any of the check which was given as a payment is like return unpaid, then how to void those checks, how to refund credit card transaction, and use a find and search option to look and edit transactions. This is what we have to cover in this session. So let's start the class. So QuickBook is very much user friendly. You can see that all the buttons that we will be working with, they are self-explanatory. So if I have to create invoice, if I have to issue the estimates, the buttons are in the customers, and you can see here, estimate button is here. If you want to create invoices, the button is here. If you want to receive payment, it's here, and it's all in the flow. It shows you the flow of the transaction as well. And then once you receive payment, that will be pending for going into the banking. The same way, if you are doing a transaction where you have actually receiving the payment at the same time, either by check or cash or credit card, you can also issue directly the sale receipts, and then automatically there will be no further waiting for the payments or something. It will directly go to the bank deposit. So this is how it works. So let's start working how to create the estimates in the QuickBook. So let's say if a customer comes to you and then they want the estimate that how much we are charging for some services, and at the same time they so that they can decide afterwards whose rates are matching or something. So let's do a transaction of creating some estimates. Just one thing before creating the estimates, you need to make sure, or start making the invoices, you need to make sure that you have those items or services already updated in your items and services tab. Like you have whatever the business you are doing. Let's say if you are selling something, then those items are available in your items and services, because this items and services, you can say item and services tab is containing all the services that you're offering to your customers, or all the things or inventories that you are selling to your customers. So right now we need to make sure that we have the inventories available or services that we are offering to the customers are already mentioned in our you can say uh, items and services. Just in case if you want to create a new item, you can just simply go to edit tab, like you are in the item and services you can say screen. So you can just simply go to edit tab. Previously when you were in the customer screen, you were able to do all the transaction or all the job about the customer. But when you are in the items and services screen, if you click the same edit button, it will show you all the options for the item. So you can either edit any item, you can select or create a new item, or you can duplicate any item, or you can delete any item. So, or you can also add or edit multiple items. So let's make a new item here. I'm just creating for the sake of learning. So let's say if we have to create some service, let me see what type of business we are doing here. So we are in the business of photography. So let's make uh, some you can say artwork here or photography sessions here. So let me create one service which is event photography, let's say. So let's create one event photography, click edit, click new item. And let's say I am also giving a service of event photography. So I'll be selecting event photography. And then if I want to make it a part of, or if I want to make this service as a sub item of anything, I'll be clicking this button, and then I can make it a sub item of my photography income. So now you can see this will become the sub item of photography income. Just in case if you are working, and let's say let's take the example of dealership or car dealership where we are going to service our car. They are changing the oil, so they are only doing the service of changing the oil. They must be buying the new oil from some company. So it means there are two prices. One is at which they bought and at which they sell. So if they have two prices, one is their expense part, like they are paying to their vendors for the cost of the oil, and the other part is they are selling that oil to us. So there are two prices. So if you have a similar situation, then you can click this button, and then you can see you can put here the cost of that oil or cost of that service or cost of that item that you are paying, and then the sale price for how much you are selling. Just to give you the idea, let's say we are doing event photography and we are hiring some private photographer to go and do the event photography. So we may be paying some charges to this to that photographer. So we may type here that charges here, like one, let's say $100, $200 we will be paying to that photographer, and we will be charging to our customer, let's say 300 or 400. So the difference will be our income. So that will be our sale price. And the cost that we are paying to our contractor or the person who will be going and do the photography as a private contractor to us, we will be charging, or we will putting his price in this place. Right now, this is not the case, but I'm just showing you that just in case if you have one cost and one is sale price involved, you can also click here and you can put that price here. So right now we are doing as a event photography. So whatever the income coming in, we can put all the income that is coming in into our sales income. But the problem is, if you put everything in the sales income, that income, you can say, pool is very big. So you will be earning something from interest, you'll be earning some from other sources, you will be earning from a lot of different places. The problem is, you will not know at the end of the day from which item you are getting more money or how much you are earning from different type of your businesses. So always remember that whenever we are working, we are always making, like, out of that big pool, we are making small buckets of each type of income. So we know which of our like source of income is making more money than others, so that in the next year we can concentrate on the items which are making more money, or we can also find out the reason why some of the items are not making money. So all of these things are, if properly put in the place, that can help us in taking good decisions. So let's see, if we are doing the event photography, all of the income should be going to the item which is, let's say, photography income. You see, we have other income like design income, print layout income, all other different type of incomes are available. But the purpose of making, like, this is the reason, the purpose of making these pool is to see whether we are making good money in the photography or in the design or in the print layout. And let's say at the end of the day we find that photography is working good, so it means we need to see why the other two are not working. So we'll be seeing what are the reasons, whether we are not marketing properly, or whether the customers already, like the similar facilities are already very much available in the area or something like that. So we can add some more businesses, or we can add some more value added items in here, so that we can earn more business in the other part as well. So all of these things are part of our, you can say, decision making things. So always remember that don't put all of your money into one big pool. Try to make a small bucket, so that whenever the income comes in, they are placed in the right place, and then we can take better decisions. So right now we have just created this event photography income source for us. So I'll be just putting here as the photography income. So whatever the income coming in will be going to this place. And I can also type my rate if I have. So let's say if I am charging $100 per hour for the event photography, I can type it here, and then I can click OK. And now you can see event photography is added as a sub item of photography. So that's how you can add your items and services inside this, like inside this folder. So let's go and create some estimates or invoices so that we can work with it. So if you are trying to create estimates, first you need to click this estimate button. Once you click it, and then you can see it will be asking you for the name of the customer. For this one, we are actually creating an invoice for Lightfoot Dance Company that we have recently created. And in that one, we are creating it for their project or job, which is dance exclusion ticket. So select the customer, and then in the customer name, you find the dance exclusion ticket. You can also start typing name here like LITE, and then you can see it's already like shrink into 3-4 names. If you don't type the name of the customer like here, and then you can see the list may be very big, and it's only the small exercise. But if you're really working in a big company or somewhere, the name will be too many. And if you are trying to search like this, it will take you forever. So always start typing the name here, light. As soon as you start typing the name, it will start to, like, your list will start shrinking, and the name will be easily visible. So once you find the name, And then in this one, we are trying to find the project of dance explosion ticket. So select this one. And then of course, you can select what type of the invoice template you want to use. Normally, we have the custom estimate, proposal quote, retail estimate. So you can select any of these based on your requirement, and then you can start working with the estimate. So the date is 12/16/23. So let me put the date. So QuickBook is very much date friendly. You just need to type the numbers, click tab, and system will take care of the information. And then let's say if I want to move forward, system is automatically giving the estimate number. Click enter, the number is already there. Then we are selecting what are the services we are giving to the customer. Uh, so we are actually, we are updating our services. The service we are offering to this customer is graphic design. So if you start D, as soon as you type, sorry, if you type G, automatically graphic design will pop up, and then you can just select it. So one, and then click the price, which is 38. You can also change the memo or description as branding and logo design. So here you can manually change the information as well, branding and logo design for new dance studio. So once you have updated it, click tab, 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 and you got your total numbers. And if you want to create new invoice, you can just or estimate, you can just simply click save and new. But let's say if I only want to issue one estimate, I'll just say save and close. So I have issued the invoice. Once I have issued I have issued the estimate. Let's say customer went to his house and then he found out that he is agreeing to the numbers, and then he called us that yes, he is willing to buy from us, and then then it's the time to issue the invoice. You can start creating invoice from here, and then you can start typing all the information, but that is not a good idea because the information you already typed when you are giving the estimate, so the information is already there. So there is no use of typing the same information one more time. So just search for that information. Let's say you have two arrows here. This one is if you want to go for in the newer transaction, and if you click previous one, so it will go previous to this transaction. So right now I'm on the very front screen, so I don't have any transaction in the next. I have all the transaction in the previous side. So I just click previous button, and then you can see my transaction pops up. Once I see my transaction, I want to create the invoice of this transaction. So I'll just click create invoice. So the system will tell us that the entire estimate has been copied. You can edit the invoice by removing or adding any item. So if you want to edit any item, we can do it in the invoice as well. Click OK. And now you see you are already in the invoice. Everything is already copied. Everything is done. You just need to click save and close and then give it to your customer. So let's say if you are happy with the invoice and everything, we can just type here as the custom message, thank you for your business. And for our records, you can type the memo because whenever we are doing any business, whenever we are issuing the invoices, we need to know for which purpose we have issued this invoice. So the purpose of this invoice is Lightfoot graphic design. So that is name of the customer and graphic design, the service that we have offered. So just type Lightfoot graphic design. So once you have typed it, just simply click save and new. If you have new or more transaction, or if you have only this transaction, you can just simply click save and close. So I just want to show you another way of coming to the invoice. So that's why I'm just clicking the save and close. I have one more transaction, but I'll be doing it once I am done. So Lightfoot, it is telling us the spelling. We know that we have done the right spelling, but it's always good that you keep like seeing the next possible change. Right now, I know that the spelling the system is offering is not correct. The right spelling is LITE. So you can simply click ignore. And then you see there was no further spelling mistake. So we are good. Another way of creating the invoice is directly clicking the create invoice button from the main screen. So if you click it, you see you are again in this screen. So next transaction that we are making is for a customer named John's Mary. So as I told you, you can start typing the name of the customer directly from here, so John's Mary. And then again, we don't have this customer in our book. That's why it is not, you can say, shrinked, and we cannot see the name of this customer here. You can simply click tab. If you click the tab button, it will be asking you, do you want to quick add or do you want to set up? If you click the setup, then system will be asking you to update all the information like the name of the customer, their address, phone number, the same way we have updated the customer details. So it will take us to the customer details section, then we have to update all the information. But right now, let's say you are in a hurry or the customer is in a hurry and you just need to issue the invoice, and then you will take care of the rest of the information afterwards. So you can just simply click quick add. So once you click quick add, this this customer is copied in your system, and now you can do the transaction for this customer. So the date is 12/18/23, and the invoice number is 10019. I'm just keeping it without any zeros or numbers. I'm just keeping it as simple as possible. So invoice number is 19, and then we have the payment terms as 15 days. For this customer, let's say we have the payment terms as net 15. So just select the net 15 here. And the item is artwork. So let's say if I want to start the artwork, there may be a lot of services we are offering. Like right now we are doing the exercise. So there are not many items or there are not many customers. But when we are really working in the real world, there may be hundreds of items that we are selling to our customers, and there may be hundreds of customers to who we are doing business. So instead of typing the entire name, or you can just searching the name in the list, you can start typing the name a little bit. So let's say we are doing artwork. So just type AR and you'll find the name comes up. So instead of typing the entire thing here, just select it. So once you select it, it will be asking you for the quantity. So we are selling 6 quantity, rate is 45. So I keep clicking the tab button, and once it is in the rate, I just type 45, and then it gave me the total. And if I'm happy with it, I just simply say save and close. So that's how you can issue the invoice. At the same time, you can add a customer on the flow. Then click save and close. And then again, we have changed the term of net 15 from the, this is our transaction terms. We have changed it. So say yes. So that's how you can create a new invoice for existing customer. Sometimes we are doing a transaction for the customers who are already, you can say, paying us at the same time. For them, we are not issuing the invoices. We are actually issuing them the sale receipts. So if you want to issue a sale receipts, it's very simple. Instead of clicking the estimate or invoices, you'll be clicking the sale receipts. So once you're in the sale receipt, again, we'll be looking for the name of the customer. So we are looking for the Ashley Hakula wedding. So you see, we have like in the Hakula's name, we have 2 businesses. One is the wedding, the other one is wedding Patrio. So this time we are only selecting the one which is with the wedding. So we select the first one. And then in this one, we are getting the, we are doing this transaction on 12/20/23. So update the date. So I can just simply click here, and then I can correct the date 12/20/23, and then click tab, 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 and then here we are getting cash. So select the mode of payment as cash. And then we have nothing else to type here because it's only the check number. So we'll be coming down here, the item. So we are selling the artwork to this customer. Just simply type A, and you'll get this artwork here. Select it, and then you can see the quantity is 4. And then click tab. The rate is 45. And then here I got the total price. So once I have completed this invoice, the sale receipt, I'll just simply say save and new if I have to issue more invoices. Or if we have only this invoice, I can simply say save and close. So both of these are possible. So we have to create one more sale receipt. So I am actually I am actually creating save and new. So In this transaction, we will learning how to create a sale receipt. If we have sell something to a customer who we are not doing business all the time. So let's say if we have not done a business with the customer, or we will not be doing like the customer is not very frequently coming. So we have never done a business with this customer. We don't know whether we'll be doing the business with this customer again. So in those scenarios, you can also create or update the sale receipt without updating the name of the customer. So this in this transaction, we will be learning how to update the sale receipt without using the customer's name. So let's say if we receive a payment from a customer, so I don't need to put the name of the customer. I'll be simply clicking check. So I receive a payment by check. Again, if you are updating the information without customer name with the check, it's high risk. If the check bounces, you don't know to who you follow on to. So always remember that you are updating the check transaction with the name of the customer. But yeah, just for the sake of exercise, you can actually do it with the check. Normally, without the name of the customer, we are doing transactions in cash, so that once you have done the transaction, and if even something happened, then you will not be relying on the customer's payment. Like you know that you have taken the cash, so there is no harm. Like there is no use of remembering the customer's name if you only work with the customer once, or let's say uh, maybe never work again afterwards. So if you have taken the cash, it's much easier. But let's say if you have taken a check from the customer, but you don't want to update the name of the customer, you can do that part. Select the check. So because you have put the check, so you have to give the check number. Just come here, you can put the check number, which is 1894, and then you can type here the type of service you have given to this customer, that is photography. So you click the P, and all the item that comes with P will be popped up, and then you can select the photography. And then in the photography, which one you can select. Let's say it's the only thing you have, like photography services. And in this one, you are actually like putting the value that you have received from the customer, that is $200. So update the value, which is $200. Click tab, and then the transaction is done. So you can just simply say save and close, and the two sale receipts are created. If you ever try to find the sale receipt, just click this button, and then go and click this previous button, and then you will see the uh, sale sale receipts created. The same way, if you want to see the invoices, you can also go to the create invoices button, and then you can just click the previous button, and then you will see the invoices created for this customer, for different customers. So once you are done with the transaction, then the next topic is receive payments. So we have already done some transactions using the create invoice tab. So now this is the time that we'll be receiving the payments from customer. So how to receive receiving payment from customer? That is just by clicking receive payments, and then you can look for that specific transaction. Like we have done a transaction for purposeful playtime. So you can just simply uh, you can go all the way back, purposeful playtime. So you can see how many. So you can see how many times I tap to try to find out this customer, but unable to find it. So another way of finding it is just simply type the name of the customer. So let me, instead of receive from this way, I can select it, and then I can go to purposeful playtime here, and we can select the actual job, that was open house. I can also click by selecting here purposeful, and then you can see purposeful come up, and then I can select the open house. So all of these things can work. I can just simply click open house, and then I receive how much money from this customer is $70. So I can type here. Here I want to show you one more thing. Let's say if I put here $140, payment amount as, let's say, $100. $100. And if I click tap, 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 tap. So now you see customers, because the amount is not matching with any of these, like it is $70, this one is $345. If you have like if you put the amount here, and then if you keep coming down, it will select the first job that is maturing first, or that is due for payment first. System will automatically take the amount first to that place. But let's say if I make this $100 as $70, and if I click coming tap, 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 and once I'm here, let me see. $70, yeah. And then normally, if you put the amount here and that amount is matching the values which are here, system will automatically pick up the transaction. But if the amount is not matching, system will pick up the first transaction that is due for payment. So right now, system is not picking up, but don't worry, you can just simply check mark this place, and system will take care of the transaction amount on the right side. So once it is updated, this is what you wanted. So let's say $70 that you want to pay. The date of payment is 12/18/23. So I'm just updating the date now. And then it's a okay. So it's a debit card transaction. So I have just moved a little bit faster to the transaction. So the mode of payment is actually the debit card or credit card. So you can just simply click Visa, and here you can update the payment method as Visa, and the number is 8977 5546 2133 9667. So just put some data here, and the date of payment expiry date is 04/23 or 25, whatever you want to give some information about the card, and then click done. And now you can see your data is updated here in your records. And then you can just simply say save and close. Right now you can see my button for save and close or save and new are hidden. Why? Because I brought the icons on the top. I can actually make them on the left side or hide them for the time being. If you hide it, you will see your buttons on the downside of the screen. So now we are doing one more transaction. So I will just say save and new so that I can create one more transaction. Yes. And now the next transaction is for the Lucy Cupcake Factory. So if you just type LUC and then see this Lucy Cupcake Factory will pop up. And for this one, we are doing for the marketing. And then again, the amount that is payable or paid by the Lucy is $100. So let me tell you that this is actually 400 and this one is 225. So if I put it here, it will take the value which is maturing first. So we can see this one is maturing on 3rd of December. This one is 13. So Lucy Cupcake will be applying the $100 against this one automatically. So 100, click tab. So you see now this time system works fine. It has actually selected the transaction that is maturing first. We can also do one more thing. Let's say if I want to pay 225, I can also type 225 and then click tab. And then you can see as soon as I put the 225, system has selected the transaction that was of 225. So that's how it works. But for this transaction, we are doing $100. Just type $100. We are getting it with the check. So check is already selected. And with the check, we need to give the number. So the number is 2548, 2548. And then click tab, 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 tab. So, and then you can, in the memo, you can type Lucy Cupcake, Lucy Marketing. And then you see the actual amount due was 400. We only pay $100. System is asking us, do you want to write off this amount? Sometimes when we are working with the customers and customer is not paying us for a long period, and then we discuss with the customer, like, is he willing to pay us the full amount, or he will be willing to pay us like 50% or something, and rest of the amount that we have to like waive. So here we can decide. So right now it is not the case that customer is not paying us. It's only we receive the partial payment. So we can just simply say leave this as an underpayment. So once you're done, just simply click Save and Close, and the transaction is done. So now we will be working with the use of find and search options to look and edit the transaction. So we have already covered the estimates. We already covered the invoice multiple ways. We have already covered the receive payments. We have covered the sale receipts. Now we'll be learning how to use of find and search options to look and edit transactions. And then we learn how to create custom reports. So let's cover the part which is to update the transaction or to find a transaction which we have done in the past. Okay, so this transaction we are doing how to update, or you can say how to find a transaction if we have done in the past and make some corrections or changes in that transaction, or maybe we want to pay receive payment for that transaction. So the first thing, we have to find the transaction. So we'll be finding a transaction using the there are two ways. Either you can search it with the find feature or with the search feature. Let's try to find a transaction using the like search option. So search and find, both of these options are in your edit tab. If you click edit tab, they both are in the downside. So let's try to do a transaction using the search option. So click search. And here you just need to give the name of the customer. Either you can update search information first, or you can type the name of the customer and then search. They both will make no difference. But let's say, as per the book, we have to click the update search information. I show you, if you do it afterwards, there will be not much difference. So I'm looking for a customer whose name is Lightfoot Dance Company. So I'll be just typing Lightfoot Dance Company, right? So once I type the name, and then I click here and then click search. And here you can see all the transaction that is done for this customer are now available here. So we are looking for a transaction that has the invoice number 18. So you can see there are a lot of invoices, but this one is the invoice number 18. So this is the transaction that we were looking for. We can just simply click open button here, and then we can update that transaction. So this transaction was an invoice, and let's say the customer agrees with the rate, but he says that they want further discount. Instead of 38, they want 35 rate. We can update the rate. And once it is done, we can just simply say save and close. And system will tell us you have changed the transaction. Do you want to record your change? Of course, we want to record this change. Click yes. And again, it will be asking us for the spell check. If it find that any spelling is not correct, system will tell us. And if we know that the spelling is right, the system is unaware of those words, or is not showing us the proper information, we can just simply say ignore, and the transaction is completed. So what we have done here, we have just changed the rate of one of the customer from 38 to 35 for that specific service they are getting. Another way of trying to find a certain transaction is the find button. Exactly the same way, just go to edit tab and then click find this time. And then here you will be needing two information. One is a type of transaction. The other thing is the customer. So we have done it for the customer, which is John's Mary. Once you select it, click find button here. And now you can see all the transactions of John's Mary will start coming up. And then once you have found it, you can select the name of the customer and then click go to, or you can just simply double click. Both will do the same purpose. And let's say the transaction was uh, we have changed some of the information about the transaction. So the first thing is, okay, so the changes we have done is for the previous transaction. This time, for this exercise, we are actually updating the payment. Like we have received the payment for this invoice, and then instead of searching for that invoice, or let me show you one more way before closing the transaction. So let me go to this place. So if I want to, we have already issued the invoices to the customer, and now we are trying to search for that specific invoice. The invoice was for the John's Mary. So you can just click backward, And here you can see John's Mary's invoice is here. So that's how you can search for the transaction, like already going to the invoice section or wherever you have created that item. Either it could be the invoice, either it could be the receive payments, or it could be the estimates. You can go to that specific column and then you can just move your transaction using these two buttons like previous and next. Once it is done, then the transaction is in front of you and then you can make changes. Right now, I don't want to make any changes from here, so I'm just closing it from this place. I will be showing you that same transaction using the way the book is saying. So that is, you will be again going to the find option, which is edit, find. In this one, you are trying to search for an invoice, and the invoice of the customer, which is uh, Jones Mary. Select the customer and then click find. All the transaction will cover. Just double click, and then you can update the transaction. Let's say the transaction is you have to receive this payment. I'm sorry. So just click the receive payment button here, and you see you are in the receive payment option. So always remember that whenever you are in the receive payment option, I'm sorry, you need to update few of the things very important, which are date of payment, amount of payment, mode of payment, and of course the name of the customer. So name of the customer is already here, and they are paying us. The amount is not mentioned in the books. It means they are paying in full. The date of payment is 12/23/23. So just update the date of payment. Then because they are paying by the check, so you need to update the check number, which is 470. And then you can type in the memo that you received it from the Jones Mary. Jones Mary payment invoice number 19. So once you updated it, just simply click save and close, and your transaction is done. So that's how you can actually uh, do the transactions for the customer. You can edit the transactions for the customer, and you can find and do the marking as paid the transaction of the customer. Always remember, you have received the payment. That's why they are marking paid. It is not necessary that the check is through. So you have to wait and see if the check is passed, then the transaction is through. Otherwise, maybe later on you have to reverse the transaction. So all of these things are possible. But right now, for as far as this transaction is concerned, it is done. So now if you want to work with the reports for the customers, we are normally creating the, you can say we can normally creating the receivable reports. You can go to the customers and receivables, and then you can click the account receivable aging detail or summary, and then you can generate, or you can say customer balance details. So you can select any of these transactions and open it. So let's say account receivable aging detail. Once you open it, we have done all the transactions in future. That's why it is coming as blank. You can just click this arrow, click all, and then you'll see all the transactions that are pending because we have done all the transactions in the future date. You can also select the customize button here, like custom report button here, and then you can just type the date. Like we are doing this transaction for 12/31/2023, and now click refresh. And now you can see as of December 31, 2023, and the report is ready. So if you have updated the data in QuickBooks, the generating report from it is like a snap. It's very easy. Let's say if you are trying to find the, this is in detail, if you want to like find a report which is, let's say this is about only the open invoices, you can click open invoices, and then again, either you can select all or give a specific date, and system will give you all the open invoices that the customer needs to pay on such and such date. So all of these things are possible for the reports. So this is uh, what we have to cover in the customers. If you have any question, just let me know, and then we'll discuss it in the class. That's it. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you.